No, I wasn't gonna continue to do these with the cards. I mean, come on now. That would just be cruel to you guys. I wouldn't do that to you. It would be a really long review if I were to continue to do it with the cards. No, no, no. I can actually speak, not physically mute. Ugh. But yes, let's get into it. Let's get into the synopsis for Mute here. When his girlfriend vanishes, a mute man ventures into a near-future Berlin's seamy underworld where his actions speak louder than words. Rated TVMA and from 2018. And you know what, guys? The first place to start with this movie is Duncan Jones himself. Now, when I first heard of Duncan Jones, it wasn't even the name Duncan Jones that I heard. I kept hearing, oh, he's David Bowie's son. That's all I heard. David Bowie's son. He directed a movie. And I finally ended up, when it hit on disc, I finally got around to watching that movie. I got around to watching Moon. And I love Moon. I think Moon is really a fantastic movie. And it's a great just sci-fi movie in general. Great performances. Love the designs of everything in it. Duncan Jones did an amazing job in it. So when I watched this movie, I thought to myself, I said, okay, look, this is really, really solid of a directorial effort, and I'm like, okay, he's on my radar now. I want to see what Duncan Jones does next. And then, what he did next, which is something I also really liked, was Source Code. Love Source Code. Now, is it as good as Moon? No. I'll tell you that right now. But I still think Source Code is a really great sophomore effort from Duncan Jones. Still really great sci-fi, thriller, suspenseful. It's got a lot of great elements to it, just like Moon. And so, again, I like Source Code, I like Moon, and so I thought, okay, Duncan Jones is heading in the right direction. I like where he's going. And then he did Warcraft. Now, I've never played World of Warcraft. I'm not into that world. I don't like that stuff. But I still wanted to give the movie a chance because it's Duncan Jones. And I was really disappointed by Warcraft. I really didn't like it. It didn't feel like Duncan Jones to me. It felt like it was this big studio movie that was compromised, and a lot of different voices, and a lot of different cooks in the kitchen, and Duncan Jones didn't have complete say in it, and it felt like that, and I didn't think it was great. And so when I heard he was doing Mute as his next project, I was like, okay, I hope he gets back to his roots, because Mute, I know, is a passion project for Duncan Jones. He's been wanting to make Mute ever since before Moon. He's been wanting to make Mute. And so I was fascinated by that, and I guess, in a way, I can't blame Duncan Jones. I think he wanted to make this big budget film so that maybe if it was successful, he could go on to make Mute, sort of his sort of passion project, kind of like stuff that Christopher Nolan does. He does these big movies, and then he does his passion project kind of thing. And that didn't pan out exactly the way Duncan Jones wanted, but he did find a great home in Netflix, and so he was able to make it with them. And, for me, I gotta say, the first thing I want to say is I really love science fiction. Science fiction films I really love, and this one is really great in the fact that I love the world of it. Whether it's the design of the cars, the designs of the buildings, the clothing, the way that the streets are, everything. Like, I love it. It feels very Blade Runner to me, almost. Not exactly as gritty as Blade Runner, but very creative in that it looks modern, but it looks slightly futuristic, like almost like you could see those designs in about 20 to 30 to 40 years from now. You could see those designs. It looks very innovative but yet modern, and I really did like that a lot. I thought it was actually really, really cool. And again, like I said, the designs are great in it, and I think the story's pretty decent as well. You have basically the character of Leo, who is a mute man, and he works in this nightclub with his girlfriend, and one day his girlfriend goes missing. And basically, in a nutshell, he can't contact her, he doesn't know where she is, she's just up and went missing, and he has to go and try to find her. And basically, within that time of trying to find her, he finds out about these secrets that she has, and how far down the rabbit hole does he really want to go to find out where she is. And I like that plot. Uh it's very sort of has a detective quality to it, but I like the mystery aspect of it as well. I think that really is effective, and I think it really works well in the film as well. And I think the acting is really good in this movie as well. You have Alexander Skarsgård, who plays Leo, and he does a really solid job with this movie. Now, I liked him in True Blood. I thought he was really great as Eric on True Blood, and I think the movie role that he's done hasn't been all that great, guys. I don't think the movie roles he gets have been awesome. I feel like he's trying, but he hasn't really gotten there yet as far as like being this sort of leading man in movies. But he does a fantastic job in this, conveying emotion and frustration and anger, all of the stuff without actually being able to talk. And that's not easy to do, and I think he pulls it off really, really well in this movie. You also have Paul Rudd, who plays Cactus Bill in this movie, and Cactus Bill is a character who is very seedy, scumbag-like guy who's a surgeon. He sort of works for these people who, if they need bodies disposed of, if they need somebody to talk because they need information, they bring them to this guy, and he's just a complete and utter asshole in this movie, but he's a likable asshole, and it actually really works, and Paul Rudd does an amazing job. And I don't know whether you guys agree with me, that Paul Rudd is a very underrated actor. I feel like Paul Rudd is somebody that you don't often think of as leading man material, or somebody who can do all kinds of different acting. You just think of him as the comedy guy. But he can do so much more. He really can. And even in leading roles like Ant-Man, he still does really, really well in that role. But even in the comedy stuff, he hits it out of the park. You know what he is? He's a great wingman. He really is. He's a great wingman to other actors. Whether it's in the 40-year-old virgin, 40-year-old virgin, or something like Anchorman. He's really great in Anchorman as sort of the wingman to everybody else. He's really great. And in this, I could say he's a wingman too, but he has his own fully fleshed story, and he's really good in it. He honestly really is, guys. And he ended up actually growing this mustache, and it works perfectly for the character. It was awesome for him to do that. And I like seeing him playing this sort of guy, because what's great about it is that he's so unpredictable. You don't know what this guy's going to do. He could lash out at you, he could stab you, he could just, say a funny line to you. It doesn't matter. Paul Rudd plays it perfectly, and I like that he was given the chance to play something a little bit more grittier than he's normally allowed to play. I think that Duncan Jones gave him a great chance, and I think Paul Rudd took it and just ran with it. And it was an awesome, awesome job that he did in this role. He did an amazing job as well. And you also have Justin Theroux in this movie, who plays Cactus Bill's partner. Believe his name is Duck in it. And this guy is equally as much of a scumbag and an asshole as Captain Bill is, or I'm sorry, Cactus Bill. Um, Basically, in a nutshell, what this guy is he's another surgeon along with Paul Rudd's character, and the idea is that this guy is also a doctor outside of being a surgeon for these seedy people. He helps take care of kids and everything, but this guy is also a complete and utter pervert. And I don't want to give much away to you guys, but this guy is basically, you never know if this guy is going to tell you the truth, if he's going to lie to your face, if he's going to hit on your underage daughter and do very inappropriate things. This guy is really just icky to the bone, and Justin Theroux plays him really well. As I said, all of the actors here do an amazing, amazing job with their roles, and you could tell that they were giving it their all in this movie. They're not playing this for laughs, they're not playing this for jokes, they're not thinking this material is beneath them. They're playing it really authentically. They're playing it like it's just an everyday thing that these people do. Like I said, when you get good actors in roles and they can shine, it works. And this is one of those times where it works really, really well. And again, I gotta say, it just feels really refreshing. The acting doesn't feel forced, and it doesn't feel like, again, it's cheesy. I liked what they did with these roles. And you also have cameos in this from other actors. Dominic Monaghan is in this in a small role, and also you have Sam Rockwell, who cameos in this as well. Won't say what he does, but it's actually really genius, and I really liked what Duncan Jones did with it. I thought it was very clever that he really did that. I like that a lot. And look, the sci-fi aspect of this, everything works. And, the thing about it is that this movie at some point was supposed to take place in modern day. It was supposed to be sort of a contemporary British gangster film, apparently. And that just really baffles my mind, because I look at the movie now, and the movie really works well as a sort of sci-fi mystery noir thriller, but to think that it was supposed to be a British gangster movie just just was baffles me. And I guess after he did Moon, I think he rewrote the film a little bit and made it more sci-fi. And I got to admit, I think Duncan Jones is just really great with science fiction. I think for some reason it fits him. I can't really explain it. Some directors are just good at horror, other directors are just good at comedy. He's good at science fiction. He just really is. He's great at it. And, again, there's a few other notes that I had in here. I will say this, that basically the characters that Paul Rudd and Justin Theroux play, they are actually inspired by Trapper John and Hawkeye Pierce, the characters from MASH. And it's kind of bizarre to think that, but when you watch the movie and you see the dynamic between those two and the friendship that they have and the back and forth that they have, actually it makes a lot of sense. That actually does. And it works really well. Again, the dynamics between the characters and everything works really well here. It's supposed to also be a spiritual sequel to Moon, and I can kind of see that too. He says it's in the same world as Moon, and I can kind of picture it too. I think it actually works as a sequel in some ways, not a direct sequel, but something that you feel is in the same world, same atmosphere. It works really well, I think. And again, I do want to say that I think the blood in the movie is really good too. I think the gore in it is also really well done. The cinematography is great. I think the movie's really good. I never found the movie dull. I didn't find it lifeless. I will say this much. I think the story with Paul Rudd and Justin Theroux is more is more entertaining than the story with Leo, but I think the Leo stuff is essential, and I think the Leo stuff really works, and that the acting is really good, and it's supported enough by the Cactus Bill and Duck stuff in order to sustain it and be interesting. But I could see how other people wouldn't be a fan of it. For me, I was a fan of the material. I liked it, and I like this movie. I think Duncan Jones is actually really good in this as a director, and I feel like I want to see him do more stuff like this. I know he was talking about doing a sequel to Warcraft if they ever wanted him to do it. My suggestion to Duncan Jones is to not do it. Go and do your science fiction. Go and do, even branch out and do something else. Do a modern day horror movie. Do, even if you want to do a comedy, go ahead that. Stay away from the big CGI stuff like Warcraft. I think he's in a better place not doing those movies, but that's just my opinion. But I've heard the complaints from people. I don't see it. I really do like this movie, and I do recommend it to you guys as a science fiction film. I think it's right up there with, the visuals of like a Blade Runner or something like that. I don't think it's as good of a story as what Blade Runner is, but I think that it's a really nice complementary piece to a movie like Moon, or to a Blade Runner or Blade Runner 2049, something like that. It feels like it could be a cousin of those movies. And I think it's well worth your time to check it out. I really do. It's about 2 hours long, so definitely know that you're going to invest quite a bit of time in this movie. But it's well worth it. And I also give Netflix a lot of credit for making these movies. Because, look, I think Netflix has been bold with their choices. And I like the fact that they give filmmakers their voice. And you could tell that they weren't holding Duncan Jones back. He made the movie he wanted to make. And it doesn't feel compromised. And I appreciate that. I appreciate Netflix is a home where filmmakers can make the films they want to make, good or bad, whether you like them or not. At least the filmmakers get to make the movie they feel they want to make without feeling like they need to get all these notes from a studio and feel like, they need to pander to the audience. I appreciate that. So that'll do it for Netflix Nights number 37. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, definitely give it a thumbs up. And let me know what you guys think about Moon. I want to know what your guys' thoughts are, and what is some of your favorite science fiction films. I definitely have a ton. I love them, but I want to know what you guys think as well. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. Definitely check out the other movie-related content, the other Netflix Nights. The Blu-ray and DVD out and about videos, the Blu-ray pickup videos, the theatrical movie reviews that I do every single week. Check all that stuff out. And if you like what you see and are a lover of movies and physical media, then subscribe and be a part of the Film Fan Nation, where I love talking about movies and physical media with you guys, and I love the feedback that I get. My subscribers, you guys, the film fans out there are amazing. I love the feedback that I get from you guys, and I love interacting with you all. So if you love that, then hit subscribe. And I'm also on Twitter and Facebook, FilmFan108. So connect with me there and keep tabs on all the videos that I upload to the channel. Alright guys, I will see you next time for another Netflix Nights. Take care guys.